Millions of photos have been taken of the Paul and Babe statues in Bemidji. So there's not many images we haven't seen before, but for this week's In Focus, Jamil Doneth shows us one Bemidji photographer whose photo exhibit shows a different side of these famous characters.
The Paul Bunyan and Babe statue in Bemidji is one of the most photographed tourist attractions in the nation. But Bemidji resident Barb Meuers' photo of Paul and Babe show a side of these statues you've never seen before.
This is an angle I just loved.
After Barbara beat a 2.5-year battle with breast cancer, her husband Michael bought her a camera.
She had never really had a hobby before, and I had no idea that she had such a talent for balance and color that she does.
And ever since, Barbara sees the world in a whole new way.
Cancer is a life-changing experience. Because I made it through, I tend to look at life a little differently.
The cancer survivor says her new perspective on life transferred to her new hobby of taking photos. Taking a unique photograph of Paul and Babe that no one has seen before is not easy to do, especially in Bemidji, where people can see the statue practically every day. But for those who showed up to Barb's exhibit today, they say she managed to wow everyone.
She's showing things here that I hadn't seen before.
Barb has captured Paul and Babe in such an amazing way. I love it.
Barbara's exhibit, Pieces of Paul and Bits of Babe, captures the statue's less obvious angles.
You gotta take a picture of the rear end of Babe.
From Paul's feet to Babe's behind.
I like the tail. Look at it. It's blue and with some black on it. It's wonderful.
Everyone enjoys a well-sculpted behind, I think, right? And I bet you didn't know that Babe has red eyes, or that one of Paul's hands looks like it's missing his axe.
It's a whole new way of looking at Paul and Babe.
There seem to be surprises in every one of Barbara's photos, even for the biggest Bunyan and Babe buffs.
I'm seeing angles of Paul and Babe, seeing things that I never saw before, and I've lived in this town for 30 years.
It's clear to see that Barbara has an eye for the unusual, and a rare talent it is. But without cancer, Barb never would have picked up a camera.
Actually, breast cancer is probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It did change my life for the better.
For this week's In Focus, Jamil Doneth, Lakeland News.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.